the next couple of days, the heat's going to
When
continue.
you have hot weather, cold weather, wet weather, you're looking for something indoor to do with the kids. That's a great place to go. Weather-wise, it is hot. That is the story this week. Back to school after Labor Day. You'd hope it to cool down a little bit. Boy, some of those after-school activities and practices are really sweltering today. We're hoping to get some rain in here this weekend, not only because we need some more, but we'd like to see it cool down a little bit. What's going to happen is that front's going to head our way and eventually kind of get stuck over the area. It won't be widespread rain, but there'll be scattered showers likely Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So just a heads up for any outdoor plans this upcoming weekend. You may have to deal with a passing shower. Even tomorrow, we might see a pop-up shower here and there, about a 20% chance. But notice as we get closer to Thursday, Friday, those chances start to go back up as we get more humidity. We've got the trigger with the cold front in the area, and that should allow for a better chance of rain. So your 5-day rainfall forecast starting to look up a little bit here. It's still pretty scattered, but certainly Friday, Saturday, looks like we might see a decent chance of seeing some rain around here, but all 3 of those days really 40%. All eyes are out in the middle of the Atlantic. This is way out there in between the Caribbean and Africa. This is Tropical Storm Lee. It's going to be a hurricane before we know it, and it is going to be a major hurricane. In fact, could be a Category 4 or 5. You don't see very often the first advisory for a system, and by the end of it, it's already a Category 4. This rarely happens, but it goes to show you how intense and how primed the atmosphere is ahead of this system. So by Sunday, somewhere north of the larger islands, we should have a significant hurricane. But beyond there, that's where the questions start to arise, because obviously everybody on the East Coast looks like it's aimed at us, right? Well, there's a sign of recurvature, but it's not a guarantee. It's not written in stone. The current steering current, so this is the current scenario based on the guidance. This trough is going to dig in early to mid next week. There's our ridge. The combination of these two will make a pathway for this to recurve somewhere between the U.S. and Bermuda, hopefully missing the Canadian Maritimes. But you never know with this system. This ridge could weaken, push off to the east. This trough could be much deeper. It could push it even further east, and that means Bermuda could take a head-on hit, but this would be well off the East Coast as well. There's a third scenario, which is one we got to keep in the back of our minds, even though it's not likely right now, but it's still possible, is this trough never gets down here or is it very strong, and the ridge gets stronger and pushes west, which allows the storm to move further west and impact the East Coast in some fashion, either directly or indirectly. And this happens a lot, especially with large, powerful hurricanes. They're like large ships. They don't turn on a dime and they don't turn quickly. It takes a while for them to turn. So the sooner we see that shift to the north, the better it will be for everybody. But you can see it's going to take a while for this to happen. This is next Friday. There's the cold front. There's our system off the East Coast. So we've got a good week and a half to watch this system. So it's not going to sneak up on us, and we'll have time to prepare, but it's something you need to pay attention to every single day. Stay tuned to our updates on Tropical Storm and eventually Hurricane Lee. Cooler weather, that's a sign of that trough heading our way for next week. We won't see it this week, though. Temperatures will be nice and warm for the next several days. Cooler weather for the weekend. Next week, you see the signs of that dip in the jet stream as temperatures by the end of next week, low 80s and even upper 70s.
All right, Brad, thanks for that extended look there.